Today we're putting AI to the test. Can ChatGPT make better Roblox GFX than a real artist? I picked GFX submitted by you guys and tried to remake it myself. Then I gave it to ChatGPT to see what it would do. Alright, so this is a submission from my Fixing Your GFX series I have on the channel, but with a twist. I'll take a submission from my community and recreate it myself like usual, but then I'll use ChatGPT to try and do the same. Obviously it can't render stuff, but I'll feed it the original one, ask for different improvements, and see what it can come up with. Here's the GFX I'll be working with. It's not bad, I can definitely see the idea where it's going, but I feel like the camera angle is a little off, and a lot of the effects could be much more polished. Alright, here we are inside of Blender. I'm going to start off by adjusting my camera angle a little bit, just moving it along more because this balances out the scene a little bit more. As you can see before, it's all kind of in the center and you've got all this blank space on the left and the right of it. So by moving this camera angle just down like that, although the pose looks a little weird now, you can see that it is taking up the whole scene. You've got the clear focus point and like secondary focus point. A nice little tip is with the Roblox starter rigs, if you go under the start, under this end menu, which you can get by clicking N, under item, and then under the finger bones here, you can set it to 1 and get access to all the finger bones if you do need to pose them. We definitely got to make sure that focal length is down a whole lot more. It just makes it a lot more dramatic, as you can see there. I feel like that pose is definitely looking a lot better than it did before. It's starting to sort of come together now, and I can definitely see the vision. Hopefully you guys can too. I think I definitely want to adjust the map because obviously, as you can see, it just cuts off back there. So I want to move this. Luckily, you've got quite a long tunnel, so I should just be able, I might split my screen here just like that and then go into camera view. And from here, I can just adjust the tunnel. Oh no, the lights are disconnected. Okay, hold up. Instead of just putting an area light for each light there is on the roof, instead of doing that, you could have just selected your light, gone under the material, under emission, and then just turned up the... What have you done to the emission now? Wait, you should just be able to disconnect that, and there we go. That one is now emitting, but obviously the whole light is emitting. So I don't know how to do UV maps and whatever. So instead, what I'm going to do is click tab, and I'm just going to go A to select every vertex, M, and then by distance. From there, I can just click L, hovering over these lights, and it's going to select the whole thing. And I should just be able to manually deselect all of these faces. So from there, I have a selection of only the light, like bulbs pretty much. So now I can just do P and then selection to put it into its own model there. Make sure in my shader editor here that it is its own texture by clicking that number, and then we can just turn up the emission there. And as you're going to see, that is going to give these lights emission and make them actually glow. And from there, we've got some pretty nice looking lights on the roof instead of them being all jumbled around like they were in the original one. I've got them actually glowing now, and I can adjust the glow if I need. I can adjust the color and everything, whatever I need to do. We're going to do the same thing with both of these headlights here, as well as the sirens. We're just going to make them glow with emission instead of with all the area lights and stuff. Luckily, you already do have your sirens in their own layer, as well as even the headlights. Yeah, even the headlights, so that's going to be pretty easy. For the lights here, instead of like separating them into their own models, all I actually need to do is go into here, and with the one that connects to the base color, as you can see, that is all the colors. We're going to open up emission, and this is the one that plugs in the base color, so we're going to plug that same one into the color of the emission, and from there, if I increase the strength, it's all going to glow. I don't know if on actual sirens that middle bar glows white. Okay, they do. Those middle lights do actually glow. Okay, that's good then. Then I should just be able to set this emission to whatever, and it's going to now make them glow like that. And I should just be able to select these headlights here, and because these are headlights like inside of the glass, hopefully the glass is see-through, and I should just be able to increase the emission. Okay, the glass isn't see-through, so we're just gonna have to go here and decrease the alpha here, and that's going to turn down the visibility, the opacity of the glass, and now we've got like actual headlights, so the headlights inside are glowing, and that's good. That's nice. I think that looks pretty good. We'll need to adjust how bright they are and stuff later, but for now I think that's pretty nice. I reckon if we add an area light coming from the front here, that might make it look like the end of the tunnel's almost there, and that's of course going to also light up the front of our character since he's just way too dark right now. We'll also add headlights to the motorbike. I've ended up making it like one of those bikes from Tron. I definitely want to adjust this helmet because I don't really like especially how the textures look. I think what I'm going to do is if I go into edit mode and merge by distance and just select the visor, put it into its own layer or its own model, and then I should just be able to make it its own texture, turn down the alpha to make it a bit more transparent, and I should just also be able to adjust the textures however I need, turn down the roughness, make it super reflective. There we go, just using the lights from the roof is pretty nice. Alright, so I forgot to hit record. I did a little bit more. As you can see, I've just got some lighting set up. Not too much has changed except for the lighting, but I'm super happy with how that looks now. The lighting's nice. I like the environment, everything. The lighting setup is pretty simple. I've just got one light here that's red. You can see giving him a bit of a red light. And then this one here, which is a blue rim light, just like the sirens of the police cars shining onto him. And then I've got this little point light right here, which is just like a little muzzle flash on the gun, which I'll add a muzzle flash inside of Photoshop. And other than that, I've just got one little like orangish sort of rim light coming on the side of him, and then just two like fill lights over here. One that's applied, that's light linked to just the character, and then one that's light linked to, I think, the motorbike and the character. I also had a depth of field just to blur out the back a little bit. Onto some Photoshop work. First things first, I definitely want to make my character a lot brighter. I feel like he still doesn't stick out enough, so I'm just going to use the object selection tool, make a selection, and hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, and then I'm just going to add an exposure layer. It's automatically going to make it into a mask, and I should just be able to do that, and there we go, just like that. It's a little bit brighter, stands out a little bit more. Definitely need to add like a whole lot more effects. I want to add some smoke coming off of the tires, like a muzzle flash. I just found this muzzle flash image online, and what I should be able to do is, because it has a black background, I can select it and change the blend style here to screen, and that's just going to remove all the black in it, so I'll have just the muzzle flash there. Now the way to do muzzle flashes, it's not just about just placing a muzzle flash image there and being done. You really have to like implement it in the scene. As you can see, I actually already have done, obviously I did that point light, so I've already got some light coming onto the gun and everything, so that's pretty nice. But another thing to do is to add another layer and just grab like an orangey sort of yellow sort of color, and we should be able to, with the flow pretty low, just draw in some more like glow to it. It's probably should be more orange, but give it a bit more glow. And just like that, with literally like two little brush strokes, we've got a bit more glare there, a bit more of a shine coming from it. And I'm doing pretty much the same for the smoke coming off of the wheel. I don't think that's too bad. Honestly, it's a pretty simple Photoshop process. That's really all I wanted to do, because now what we should be able to do is click Control G with all of our layers selected, turn it into a group, duplicate it with Control J, and then just do Control E. That'll combine it all into just one layer, but then we still have the group here if we do want to go back and change any of it. But then what I should be able to do is right click on it, convert to smart object, go up to filter, and then just apply a camera raw filter to it. And last but not least, I just want to add some glare using Honoric. I feel like this wall, it kind of sounds a bit weird, but this wall is too like bright, so I think I'm going to make it kind of have a gradient going back. I'm going to see if that works. There we go. I think that's kind of nice, that nice gradient there. I mean, that's not too bad. I think I'm fine with that. It's not my best piece of work. It's definitely an improvement, I think. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below and how you think I did compared to the original version. But now it's time for AI's turn. I'll upload the original GFX to ChatGPT and see if I can improve it. All right, so I'm here in ChatGPT and we're going to be seeing what we can do with this original image to try and revamp it as much as possible just using AI. So from here, I'm probably just going to say revamp this image, making the composition, posing, lighting, and overall layout and feeling of the scene a lot more, I think, action-y. AI seems to always mess up like the proportions of the Roblox character, so I definitely got to make sure to specify, make sure to keep the Roblox proportions. And I think that's it. I'm just going to see what it says about that. Wow, bro. I did not expect it to actually do that well. That's really, what? That's really good. I might be cooked here. I can't lie, bro. I'm actually annoyed at that. Look how good the colors are in this one. I have to go back and revamp mine a little bit. I don't know if that's cheating, but I have to, bro. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a hue saturation. I'm going to bump it up. And I'm going to go into the camera raw filter. I think if I do the shadows, I make them more orange. Now let's compare all three of these GFX. You've got the original, you've got my version, and you've got the ChatGPT one. Which one do you guys think came out the best? I feel like the colors and the overall action in the AI one is really there. Like there's a lot of action going on. It's really well done, but there's obviously a few different inconsistencies around the place and it's not perfect. And as usual, you can still tell it is just AI. Compared to my version, I feel like my version, I didn't really add enough motion blur and just enough action effects. I probably could have if I just put a bit more effort in, to be honest. But I feel like mine is just a bit more readable and understandable because obviously a real human made it and not AI. But I do just definitely feel like AI gets a lot more of the colors and the action across. Especially that was my first prompt too. I asked it one question and it immediately fixed it up. All right, so looking at the two, I honestly can't really decide that much which is the best. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to decide which one wins. Comment down below and also tell me why. If you want me to do this again with like a different GFX, let me know. Maybe we'll keep giving AI a shot. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.